Welcome to driving at home or enjoying the view of a Stinger here on the back lot of our local dealership, which is always a fun pastime for us car nuts to go check out what's available here. This is usually where you find the most unique things, and you get to check in on some, I don't know, models that are not what they put out front maybe, or that they've not yet gotten prepared for sale. But one of the things that's interesting is the history of automobiles, where the manufacturers have done their miracle of modern technology badge engineering, basically taking a car that is a mundane run-of-the-mill Dodge Caravan, making it into this wonderful Volkswagen. So I don't know about you, but to me that's okay. I think it's all right. I mean, you get a little bit more panache maybe, or that's a French word. What's the German word for panache? Zeitgeist? No, that's not right. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But in any case, you get and if you go back in the past, you've had several different cars that have been sort of engineered through badge technology, like, you know, these Fords with the Mercury and a Lincoln and all these other cars. And General Motors was always very keen on filling all of their dealerships with cars that were basically the same car with a different grille or something like that, and also a different name. But is that okay? Are you okay that, say, a forerunner of this era here was also the same underpinnings as a Lexus? The forerunner actually benefited from some of those luxury features, which normally the forerunner was a sort of purist off-road vehicle before that, to some degree. So I think it's gotten better. Definitely better than back in the glory days of the 80s and 90s of Chrysler's K-Car, where they would basically create any type of car on that same chassis, you know, and a lot of times just have the same exact car with a different name on the side, a Plymouth name or a Chrysler name or a Dodge name. You had the old 90s and earlier GM models that had just basically the front end clip was different and the rest of it was the same. Not this one here. This one's a little bit more unique because it's a Cadillac made into a hearse. But in any case, I think cars have come a long way since the days of badge engineering, where, you know, the grille looks different, looks like a Dodge, but basically the same car, lines and everything for the Chrysler and the Plymouth variants. Same thing with GM and Chevy. They usually were the same exact, Chevy and GMC were the same exact thing except for the grille, usually. So all in all, I think we've come a long ways since those days. I'm not sure exactly why. I think part of it is the thinning out of the available makes since 2008, and there was a lot of cars that went by the wayside. Makes went by the wayside, so there was not as many dealerships to fill up with different models. So it's kind of like, well, not exactly the same, but similar to the way back when you would go to, say, a Buick dealership and they would just have the Buick, and you go to the Chevy dealer and they'd have the Chevy. Back in the 50s and earlier, 1950s. Then in the 60s and 70s, they started to just come out with the same car and just slap a different front end cap on it and call it good and market it as a different car. So again, I think we're in much better shape these days as far as badge engineering, but You let me know. What do you think? Do you think we're doing better? Do you wish we had more customization among our manufacturers? I think we're doing pretty good, but let me know in the comments and give me a like and join us for the next installment while we go out looking at our wonderful Volkswagen rebadged as from a Dodge Caravan, Chrysler, Town and Country. Subscribe.